10 p.m. news from our studios on MDI Road. Now, first day headlines. The ambassadors of Turkey, UK and Guinea-Bissau pledge to strengthen ties with the Gambia. Immigration receives 40 new pickup trucks courtesy of their Italian counterparts. West Africa's remaining giraffes receive higher-level security in Niger in a bid to protect them. Kenya's presidential results are coming in and early polls show a close race. Well, these and other stories coming ahead in the next hour. I am Fatu Jassi. Thank you for joining us. In a flurry of diplomatic engagements, His Excellency President Adama Barrow received the credentials of the ambassadors of Turkey, the United Kingdom and Guinea-Bissau. The three diplomats pledged to consolidate the existing bilateral relations with the Gambia and support the new government. Mamadou Diallo reports.
Excellency Ismail Sefa Yusir, who has been in the Gambia for over a year now. He was first received by the Gambia's Foreign Minister Ousainou Darboe, who ushered him to a waiting President Barrow. Speaking to journalists shortly after, Ambassador Yusir pledged to consolidate Turkey-Gambia relations, which spans decades.
This is very significant. I mean, this has significance for Gambia and for Turkey, for both parts as well, because this very historic juncture, Gambia needs the assistance of Turkey, and Turkey needs the assistance of Gambia, because both these relationships, they are reciprocal. This is not a one-way street. This is two-way street. For that reason, President Barrow, His Excellency Minister Darboe, they are always, they are enthusiastic to increase relationship with Turkey.
Next came the new ambassador of the United Kingdom, Her Excellency Saran Wado. She replaces Colin Crockin, who, like many before him, endured a difficult period in the Gambia as diplomatic relations between the two traditional allies deteriorated to an all-time low. Ambassador Wado, however, expressed optimism that relations will blossom as the UK deepens engagements in various fields of cooperation.
I feel very optimistic that there is a real chance of success and for the brighter and better future that you hope for. We are already cooperating bilaterally and have been some time. So we have been providing support to the Ministry of Justice through the provision of an advisor. We've been working with the Parliament recently with the Hansard team on digitising parliamentary records, but also providing other support through the Westminster Foundation for Democracy, so helping your new Parliament to work better and more efficiently in support of the government's.
The Ambassador of Guinea-Bissau, His Excellency Maila Kasama, completed the list. Infantry Battalion, Gambia National Army. Present, ready for expression, Your Excellency. After the usual ceremonies, we usually punctuate such occasions, Ambassador Kasama presented his credentials to the President. Mr. Kasama said his priority would be to consolidate the already good relations with the Gambia, citing agriculture as one area the two countries can cooperate. These three are the first envoys to present credentials to President Barrow since he took office. It is quite significant for the new government, which has made restoring relations with other countries, particularly Britain, a top priority. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS News.
The overseer of the Office of the Vice President, Fatoumata Jallow Tambadjan, Tuesday presided over the consultation of the proposed Truth, Reconciliation and Repatriation Commission. The event was organized by the African Center for Democracy and Human Rights Studies in partnership with stakeholders. Fatoumata Cham-Jammeh reports.
The Truth, Reconciliation and Repatriation Commission, established under the new political dispensation, seeks to reconcile people by uncovering the truth about human rights violations that occurred during President Yahya Jammeh's 22-year rule. The two-day forum underway in Kololi seeks to familiarize participants, especially women and youth, with the transitional justice processes to help facilitate their engagement in the national reconciliation process. Madam Fatoumata Jallow Tambadjan, who is also the Minister for Women's Affairs, reiterated government's commitment to good governance.
There's need for us to have social transformation where we have to forgive each other, where we have to support each other, where we have to not look at the weaknesses, our human weaknesses, but rather our strength, and complement each other as a force to be reckoned with to ensure that we support the government in its process to reform the Gambia, to reposition the Gambia. And this is what is reflected in the National Development Plan.
The chairman of the African Center for Democracy and Human Rights Studies Governing Council, Andrew Chikavera, noted that the lack of information on the GRRC would hinder people's participation in the process.
The lack of knowledge and information about the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission process would hinder women's engagement and participation, and consequently the impact. Therefore, the need to sensitize women and youth, especially girls, to effectively engage in the process is paramount.
Tabu Sarr of the Gender Action Group emphasized the role of women in the maintenance of peace.
As it is unduly an acceptable standard that when men and women take decisions together, it encourages ownership, commitment, eliminates rumors, misunderstandings, and conflicts.
The TRRC, which was officially launched last Friday, is expected to speed up the country's healing process, but experts encourage witnesses to tell the truth, for there can be no genuine reconciliation without fully uncovering the truth. For GRTS News, I am Fatoumata Cham Jammeh.
The Italy Immigration Services donated 40 new Toyota pickups to the Gambia Immigration Department to help government curb irregular migration. Layman has more on the handing over ceremony.
The struggle to mitigate irregular migration has been boosted.
This fleet of vehicles we are receiving today is not the first time the department is benefiting from our friends in Italy. It is one of the numerous support rendered to us by the Noble Kingdom. Please allow me to just name but a few. In 2010, a fleet of 12 vehicles were received to boost the mobility strength of our irregular migration unit.
The vehicles were donated to the Immigration Department by the Italy Immigration Services. The bilateral in the drive to control irregular migration started in 2010.
Our presence here today is a clear message. We would like to increase our cooperation, and for this reason we are here not only to attend this very symbolic and important ceremony, but also to discuss during the next days about the future stepping up of our cooperation. We are available to continue to provide our support in favor of the Gambia Immigration Service and also in favor of the initiative.
The Gambia is understood to have accounted for a very large number of economic migrants storming the Italian coast in search of greener pastures. The Italian government is aiding the Gambia's effort to control the phenomenon. That number is decreasing under the new government.
Since when this new government took power, it's in end of January, beginning of February, I have seen the statistic of the illegal migrant over the Gambia, so-called the back way, in Italy. The number is decreasing. So that is the proof that really the new era and the new democracy, it's in the third republic of the Gambia already started.
The handing over ceremony took place at the Immigration's Irregular Migration Post in Tanje, West Coast Region, established in 2008. Those were the times when irregular migrants departed from here in Tanje and other coastal towns near here in very unseaworthy fishing cables, bound for the Canary Islands. Consequently, many precious young Gambian lives perished at sea. As
As a responsible immigration agency, the Gambia Immigration Department felt that such perilous migratory form cannot go unabated. To combat it, the department established my unit, the Irregular Migration Unit, and the deployment of its staff to patrol the coast began.
The event was also graced by service chiefs and the Interior Minister. Glad to be associated with the event, Honorable Fati emphasized that one of the surest ways to curb irregular migration is by spurring the economy and building strong institutions.
The vision of His Excellency is a Gambia that is strong, a Gambia that is secure, and a Gambia that is prosperous. A Gambia where her citizens can build a future, a strong and sustainable future, a compassionate one where every citizen can find a place.
The hope is that the vehicles would be used judiciously. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
The National Education Coalition on Monday held its annual General Assembly. Members used the opportunity to call for the allocation of more resources to the education sector. Samuel Ba has the rest of that story.
National Education Coalition advocates have wrapped up a two-day annual General Assembly meeting for the realization of quality education for all. The Education for All campaign network is the umbrella body mobilizing civil society organizations to advocate for access to quality education.
For the Gambia to be developed and become a role model for other African countries, government has to make education a priority. Thus, there should be more allocation of resources with more investment in youth and children's education, especially in the technical and vocational areas. Parents and society must know that vocational and technical education is not an area for the less academically inclined. Thus, it should not be taken as a second option.
The Education Coalition Network, with local and regional partners, continues to amplify their voice to influence education policy. Those partners include the Gambia Teachers Union and the African Campaign on Education for All, among others.
We must continue to strengthen the principle of all inclusiveness and participation. One strategic way of ensuring increased commitment and resolve in accelerating growth and development within the network is certainly by strengthening the team.
FNET is growing all through the teething pains, the sleepless nights. The baby FNET has grown and it's now finding its way. And we are quite happy to see that this has happened and is happening.
As network, how do you work? Why are you called a network? It's a web. If one string is missing, you all fall.
My coming here is to see how we can support it for the General Assembly and also to ensure that the project that is being funded is fully implemented together with the team in the Secretariat and working with the board. Without the board, there's no Secretariat. Without you members as FNET, there's no FNET.
The Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education recognizes the crucial role of the Education for All campaign network, Gambia chapter, in improving education service delivery.
My ministry is committed to working in close collaboration with all stakeholders, particularly civil society, in ensuring strategic mechanisms for delivering accessible, quality, and relevant education for all children in the Gambia.
IFANET's long-term mission is to build an informed and skilled network of civil society organizations for coordinated and credible advocacy for the rights of all to quality education by 2030. Samuel Bach, GRTS.
Killing the tribes for the nation to survive was the theme for this year's commemoration of International Youth Day, organized by the UNESCO Club of the University of the Gambia. Khadija Juraroli tells us more.
held at the UTG Law Faculty in Kanifing was aimed at discussing relevant issues to youth development. In his speech, the president of UTG UNESCO Club, Omar Kamara, said the day contribute immensely to the peaceful coexistence of young people. He urged youth to redouble their efforts in nation building.
Young people have been the backbone of every nation. They call us the power of every nation, the light of every society. I want to ask the young people in this hall, are we fulfilling these names dedicated to us by the world? No. And I'll tell you why. A lot of young people are struggling to change the life of the people in this society, but a lot stay at home, pay for living, think or brew a bear, and still go on the street and act mad when they are okay.
The Secretary General and Acting Executive Director of the Legacy, Sheikh Omar Silla, said their way of celebration of International Youth Day is done looking into issues affecting young people and how to resolve them.
My fellow young people, on this International Youth Day, let us not just celebrate the contributions of young people worldwide, but also commit to invest in our energy and drive for a better world. We, the young people, who make up the largest population of our countries, can lead the drive and break the patterns of the past and set the record straight on the course to a more sustainable future.
The guest speaker, Momodu Sabali, advised youth to take up their responsibilities seriously.
There is no excuse for failure. We, the young people of this new Gambia, cannot afford to fail this nation. We are the youth. We are the world. We are the future of tomorrow, so we cannot give excuses that we are very good at it. Every little thing has an excuse. Get up and take responsibility for your life. God is always a good God, but we have to do something to earn what we want.
Sabali advised youth to do away with tribalism, saying tribalism has no place in a peace-loving country like the Gambia. The chairman of National Youth Council, Dembo Kambi, said no meaningful development can be achieved in the absence of peace. Liberian international motivational speaker and CEO of Africa Philosophical Findings, Tony Mikel Hawad, advised youths to always see themselves as Gambians first before belonging to particular tribe or tribes. Both guest speakers, Momodu Sabali and Mr. Tony Mikel Hawad, were presented with certificates in appreciation of their support. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Khadija Tujuwara.
A peace and unity meeting was recently held in Gambisara and Sare Talata in the Upper River region. The forum was meant to foster unity and support the government's development aspirations. Khadija Tujalo reports.
This is one of the biggest gatherings bringing the people of this area under one roof. As they prayed for peace and prosperity for the country, Gambisara imams and elders, Sheikh Ibrahim Adrame and Al-Haji Muhammad Dukure, said the president has been chosen by God to lead the country and they are ready and willing to rally behind him and the government with one voice. The meeting was also attended by prominent youths from the area, among them Majula Singate of Gambisara, who spoke at length about the importance of unity and development. The Lady Councillor Jimara Jarai Jagana and other women leaders said unity is strength as they promise to support President Barrow and his government. Leading by example, the four candidates that contested the National Assembly elections for Jimara constituency said they remain one, while noting that they will work towards the development of the country and Jimara in particular. Other speakers from Julanding and Dembakunda, Ngali, also emphasized the importance of unity and support for the president and his government. The adopted father of the Jimara youths, Lamin Jata, presented trophies for the Nawetan Championship. From Gambisara, a similar meeting was hosted by Sare Talata, where the villagers called for unity and understanding, which according to them would help address challenges confronting them. Dudu Sano of the President's Office, Sajo Jaju from Congo North, an executive member of the coalition, and veteran politician Adam Cham, all commended the villagers for the development and urged them to work towards fostering peace and development for the country and their community.
We take our first break. Sports is up next. Stay tuned. Welcome back. In sports, Jola Kunda are the crown champions of Mandinaring following their 5-4 win over Victoria Keflavik FC on post-match penalty shootouts at the Village's Super Cup final on Sunday. As we hear in this report by Modula Minsani, the two teams settled on a 1-1 draw on normal time.
Knockout champions Jola Kunda United have been crowned champion of Mandinaring Super Cup final after defeating their rivals Victoria Keflavik 5-4 on post-match penalty. The two sides ended the encounter in an entertaining game. It was Victoria Keflavik who took the lead through Duru Ture shortly before the break. But their celebrations did not last longer as substitute Haruna Kebe netted a free kick to restore parity for Jola Kunda United. That goal forced the game to a penalty shootout, with Jola Kunda winning 5-4.
You won your first title, of course. This is the cutting razor here in Jola Kunda. First, tell me your mood.
Oh, I'm very much happy. As you can see, all my fans are in the best mood that nobody can just say. I told them that before coming to the field, I told them that I'm going to win this trophy. I'm going to win the first game, that the first trophy will be coming to Jola Kunda. I'm going to stop Keflavik for being the dominance of Mandinaring football for this year's year.
I'm a little bit disappointed, because I was not expecting to lose. You know, if you are used to something, you always expect that that same thing is coming. So I am used to winning. So I was expecting that I am going to win again. So it's like a kind of disappointment for me, but all the same, I enjoy the pain.
The cutting razor which marked the opening of the Northern season. The final match was watched by dignitaries, among them community representatives.
Let them know that they can't do it all. Let them have their plans. This is what we put them there for. Let them put plans and call people to try to implement the plan. They can be planners and implementers. Let us have a plan, and then they call us to come and implement. I know the way forward, I'm going to use my political power to make sure that Mandinaring and the Mandinaring youth also enjoy at least a bit from the national king of the sport.
It was the beginning of a new season for Mandinaring sports, which is being run by an interim committee.
The objective of this interim committee is to make sure that, there are so many problems that we, during my time in the committee, we face as committee. We are going to prepare the constitution, we are going to prepare the positions of the executive, we are going to make sure we program everything so that this time around next year, teams that are coming can easily take over.
12 teams are expected to compete for Musa Drame Championship Trophy. Reporting for GRTS Sports, I am Modula Minsani.
We'll take our second break now. Internationals is up next.